Hey guys, welcome to the next Smash Chat. Today we have with me RavenKingSage.
Hello.
We have OmegaSnake.
Hey there, everyone. OmegaSnake here.
And from the list we just did, SwedishKuriboh.
Hi.
And as you may have noticed, we are here to talk about none other than the WiiU Direct for Smash.
Woo!
Extravaganza.
Now, unfortunately, we're still fresh off the Direct. We don't remember everything, but that's okay. We don't need to talk about everything, just some of the big announcements that was shown. So,
You said big.
Oh,
Dang
and
it!
let's not forget that I'm one of the only ones that are here for both Smash Directs. I was on the last one.
yeah, unfortunately I wasn't able to get in contact with the others, but yeah, welcome back. And,
Yep.
well, what do we have here? What's the first thing that was shown? What was the first thing that they really announced? Or should we do it? Should we do it in order, or should we just whatever comes to the top of our head?
I kind of wanted to talk about the stages first because that's the part where kind of new info came into light. They talked about what characters would be available at the start first, and that's not really info we need to talk about, you know?
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
I
skip
do
that.
agree. We already know the full cast.
Well,
Yeah.
so far.
So far. Yes.
Oh, dude.
Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, for the time being, that's the full cast. But there's something we'll
No,
talk about later.
They talked about the additional player Smash first. I think.
oh
You mean?
yeah.
You can play
Player
as
Smash. We'll start with that.
which one? We're saying you can play as 5 players. Now get this, you can play as 6 players.
By the way, your announcer voice is really good, CJ. Seriously.
Thank you.
Speaking of the announcer, I just want to get this out of the way about the announcer. I freaking love that guy. I love how he announced the whole 50-fact extravaganza thing, and I saw his YouTube channel introduction a few days back and heard him singing the opening of the Pokemon theme song. So yeah, he seems like a really cool, really funny guy, and I love the way he narrated the whole thing. It was really awesome.
Yeah, it was. But anyway,
Anybody?
but yeah, I am actually excited for the up to 8-player Smash because I have a big family at my house, and it's like we usually have like 5 people. So when we were playing Smash Brothers, one of us had to sit out. So I'm actually really happy for this, so that way all of us can play together.
Like the rotation battle from Brawl that nobody used.
No, I mean like now all 5 of us can play at once.
Going back to the announcer real quick, he kind of had like this Captain Quark vibe going for him. Did it sound like that for anybody else?
I don't know.
Captain who?
Captain Quark from Ratchet and Clank.
Oh.
I
a little
don't-
bit.
I
Don't
never
think
played-
it's the same guy, but
He didn't really come to mind. I don't know.
All right, I guess it's just me then. But yeah, 8-player Smash. I'm not sure how many people I'm gonna get to play with me during the holidays, but that's gonna be if I can get 8 people, that's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of a shame. I don't think you can do it online, but okay, I guess I can look forward to the holidays. Otherwise, most of the people I play against, we're just gonna do the regular Smash.
Yeah.
It sucks for me, but
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't really know enough people to do 8-player Smash, but hey, that's cool anyway.
yeah, it's still a cool feature. You know, kudos to them. I would
yeah.
like to bring this up though, Sakurai, I can't trust you anymore. I just can't. Anybody else?
What do you mean?
Oh, you would not believe how many times he's gone back on what he said. I mean, I understand.
Oh, yeah.
I understand things change during game development. I understand that, but at the same time, I can't take anything he says until we see an official confirmation in the game itself. He did
True.
say, like, you wouldn't play with more than 4 people. Well, here's 8 people, so what the heck happened there?
And then from
Not that you're complaining or anything,
Not that
right?
I'm complaining, but it's just like, people
Definitely
always
not.
love to quote Sakurai, like, oh, Sakurai said there's not going to be DOC because they didn't want to do it until after the game. It's like, dude, you can't trust the guy anymore, okay? You just
We'll
can't.
do the DLC. We'll do the DLC last.
You know?
And then there
Yeah, well,
was what he said about custom move sets. But, okay, I'm getting off topic.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're
getting
getting
off
off
topic.
topic. Anyway, for one of the new stages, the Great Cave Offensive.
Yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, I actually really enjoyed that mode in Kirby Superstar, and seeing it like
It
this.
was for the longest.
Yeah, and just like in the game, oh man, it is full of dangerous traps and dangers, and of course,
Yeah.
the instant KO zone if you have over 100%.
Which
Yikes!
is,
Yeah, that's
which is really
really
smart.
creative way to knock people out. Since apparently from what I saw, it doesn't have any like blast lines where you traditionally get the fighter out of the ring.
Well, I'm actually looking at it. I'm actually looking at it right now, and I do see that there are some, but it's like narrow passageways.
Yeah, it's
True.
like
So
so
it
minimal.
gets really long and drawn out, like the survival cave from Temple, which we haven't back.
I can't believe that's back. But hey, 8 players will make that much better.
Yeah, but also on the Great Cave Offensive, it's like if they didn't have these danger zones, you could get up to like 500% or so before you finally KO someone.
Yeah, that's
True,
why
that
it's
would
so
be
good to have this. I'm still hoping that we'll get that Return to Dreamland tour that we just put in our video, but
Yeah,
I mean,
I
this
saw
still
that.
looks good. What are your thoughts, SwedishKuriboh?
Yeah, the Great Cave Offensive looks awesome, especially because I made a stage in Brawl that is all kinds of just awful, and and something like the 100% death thing would make that stage workable. So yeah, I'm all for that. I think it's a great idea.
Oh yeah.
And also the stage itself, it looks cool, looks awesome. It's huge, and yeah, love it.
And then there's also Jungle Hijinks.
Which
Yes.
I was like,
Oh,
thank you, DK level, but I'm not sure how well I really like the foreground-background sort of switch. If you're playing with, if you play with
I love
4
it.
people, I can understand that. That might be fun. But one-on-one, and then you're like trying to chase down the guy, that could get a little annoying.
Well, yeah. Well, it's like, you know what though? You still gotta give them credit for at least trying something new with these stages.
Oh heck
though.
yeah! I mean, that is great.
Yeah, Jungle Hijinks was easily one of my most hype moments of the Direct because not only do we finally see a new Donkey Kong stage, it implements something straight from Donkey Kong, and that's the kind of Nintendo love that I really love Super Smash Bros. For, and oh, it's awesome.
And
yeah.
finally, a Donkey Kong stage that isn't awful.
Yes. Yes.
Most have been bad.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. 75 centimeter returns.
If
that's-
Did you say 75 centimeters?
Well, what was it?
Tiny.
What was it called again? 75 meters?
Yeah.
75
Okay, I
meters.
messed
hated
up.
that place so much.
I messed up there. But, oh, that place is bad. Maybe 8 players will make it better, but probably not because there's just no room to fight.
Also, barrels.
Barrels explode and they can cause you damage if you go in there too many times, right? I've only
Yeah.
seen the Direct once, but it's like, okay, so I guess if the guy is constantly running back and forth between them, he's going to take damage, so, okay,
Yeah.
good. There's a penalty.
Yeah, I highly doubt Sakurai would implement an element like that without some kind of counterbalance.
Temple.
Oh yeah. Well, but anyway, back on stage. I also like the fact that they're actually changing up the stages that were already in the 3DS version and changing them up to something new, like the Coliseum for the Fire Emblem representative.
Well, yeah, kind of. How about this? What did you guys think about this? I'm not sure how many more stages are left that we can talk about. Oh, wait, there is one more. There's the big one that they said won't even be ready until the game comes out. Miiverse stage.
Oh yeah.
That looked interesting.
That actually makes me want to make messages and draw things on Miiverse now. That's a great idea.
That is actually really creative. I mean, Sakurai really went all out for Smash Brothers for Wii U. I mean, he really wanted to try something new with these stages, and we're definitely getting that. But of course,
Yeah.
They're also going to have to really watch the servers, to get rid of the obscene ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
kind of a
I
given.
think there'll probably be a lot of those ones.
Especially for the female fighters. Let's face it.
Yeah. All right. So the one thing, there was one thing I was really happy to see with the stages, or at least the stages that we knew about. I'm so happy they're doing this. Thank you, Sakurai. Thank you for going that extra mile. We get codex. We get.
Yeah,
Yes! I was actually really excited for that.
yeah, people.
Now, if only we could get Snake back in here.
Deals? Well,
Yeah.
we'll get there.
We'll see.
RavenKingSage, what were you gonna say?
I was really happy to see that because not only do we get more hilarious Uprising dialogue, like Quarter Guy said, it's a portable stand-up routine, so I would love to see some of that dialogue. makes a nice replacement for the loss of Snake's Codex, which was my favorite part about him in Brawl. But not only do we get that, but we also get special guests like Crom and Robin's little Codex thing.
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm still hoping that Slippy somehow hijacks their thoughts.
Yes.
And that Hades comes in. We need Hades.
I was also going to add that interesting, people on. I'm a regular user of the TV Tropes forum, and a bunch of people on there, months in advance, were making conversations like that for fun, and now, look what we have.
I'm wondering if any of them actually match up. I've actually heard about that, and I heard someone did a fake one for Bayonetta. That one made me laugh so hard. But going for the official characters, I love how they're going to be so sarcastic and in-depth, and have all these little in-jokes, like Verity telling Peach, it's glad to see she's being busy, not being captured.
She said...
She took it from being kidnapped.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah, so it was along the lines.
Yeah, now if only we can get Snake back in the Smash.
I wish.
Hey. Maybe. Let's not count anything out. As far as I'm concerned, speculation is still open on that.
Yeah.
I know, but still, I'm OmegaSnake for a reason. He's my mascot, so I have a right to complain.
Can I actually say something about that?
Sure.
If Snake isn't coming back, I just want to say this real quickly. I would really like to hear the explanation for why. Because, Sakurai talked about why the Ice Climbers wouldn't be coming back, so I would like to hear an explanation for the other cut characters if they're not coming back from DLC or some other form.
Okay, the only reason I can think about Snake is just because he's third party, but at the same time, Hideo Kojima wants him back in. So, what's the problem?
Third-party characters are such an anomaly,
As far as I'm
concerned, we were talking about, the Codex and Palutena's Temple stage.
I don't really think we have that much to say, but we have the new Star Fox Codex, which, you know what, I'm kind of unsure how I feel about that because Fox's voice...
Oh, goodness.
Well, they might fix that for the Wii U version.
No, it's the same. And you know what it is? It is the same guy who did him in Star Fox 64 and the remake. But what happened? He sounds so inconsistent. He has like these high and low pitches all over the place.
I haven't actually heard him yet. I just hear from people that he sounds really nasally.
Yes,
and he sounds inconsistent between like his death cries and his fire.
Yeah, that's what he sounds like. Fire.
Yeah, it's like. Well, it's like, it's also probably been a few years since he did Fox, so he was probably really rusty.
But he was the same in Star Fox 64's 3D. It was the same voice, the same guy. He came back and redid all the lines. So, it was a few years, sure, but how did he sounded the same as he did in the first Star Fox game, so how on earth is he rusty after that?
I have no idea.
I don't know, but that's, I actually wanted to say this about Fox. My favorite voice of Fox in Smash Bros. Will always and forever be Melee, because his death cries are priceless. I love that "what" sound he makes when he dies. It's great.
The Japanese voice acting, man, it's just so good.
There was something else I wanted to say about the Codex. I need to send you guys a picture of this later, but someone caught a snapshot of Pitt talking about Shulk saying, "Makes us look like a bunch of jokers."
Yes, I missed that the first time until Seven Charles Emerald pointed it out to me in another call, and I was like, oh yes, how did I not pick up on that? Because if you've played Xenoblade Chronicles, you get that joke. You get where it's coming from. If you don't...
Which I haven't, so I don't.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Let's just say Shulk stole the same line from Ryan, so Pitt stole the line from Ryan. Poor Ryan's getting stolen left and right. But yeah, moving on. We have the bosses, and hello, Metalface, where the heck have you been?
Well, CJ, let me talk about this because bosses are my specialty.
Well, everybody gets their fair share, but go ahead, lead the way.
Okay. Well, anyway, for the two bosses, Metalface. Well, I'm not really a Xenoblade Chronicles fan, as we talked about during the E3 conference. But anyway, Metalface, he looks really, really nasty. Like I said, I've never played Xenoblade Chronicles, but yeah, this guy looks like he's going to be a force to deal with, and it's going to take like maybe all 4 players to KO him. Yeah. But I'm going to be looking forward to KOing him because, like I said, I love fighting bosses. But before we go on to the other one, what do you guys think about Metalface?
I'm going to be looking forward to KOing him because I think he's a really badly written character, but
I don't know about badly written. I mean, like, motivation and, like...
I kind of went into an explanation about this on our forum already.
Oh, okay.
But I just find him too incompetent to respect, and he survives every encounter with the heroes pretty much by just getting lucky.
Yeah.
So, I find him just too pathetic to be of the love-to-hate variety, but that's off topic.
I mean, personally, I always look forward to when I encounter him, just because I look forward to just being able to tear him apart. All the nasty lines he says, which I'm happy to hear the voice actor come back and say some new lines for it, like, hey, 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 time to die! Like, I loved hearing that. Like, you have no idea how nasty he can get in the game. So,
Yeah, apparently.
I'm looking forward to some new lines being spoken for this.
Yeah.
SwedishKuriboh, I don't think he's played the game, so...
who hasn't talked about Metal Face?
That would be
I
SwedishKuriboh.
but I haven't played the Xenoblade, so I don't have that much to add. So
It's alright.
Okay, so let's talk about everyone's favorite villain that just won't die, Ridley.
No! Okay, he's a boss.
TJ, calm down there. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on Ridley first, because I have something to say here, because, Ridley's been my most wanted character, and let's just say my reaction was different from yours. I would like to share my thoughts last.
All right. Well, anyway, with Ridley, I was actually, I was disappointed that it's really been confirmed now that he is not going to be playable. But I will take this though, that he will actually fight with you if you can smack him around a bit and teach him who's boss. Then he'll actually fight for you. But I also like that he's basically treated like a fighter, so that if you KO him, you get a point off of it. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's like, were they trying to implement him as a fighter, but they just couldn't pull it off, or were they just trying to make him different? I don't know. But yeah, I'll take this as a small victory that you could still fight with him and he can actually help you tear your opponents apart. And yeah, it's like, even though I wish he would stay dead, I'm actually happy that you can actually fight with you. And yeah, but that's all I have to say. What do you have to say, CJ?
I was just surprised by the amount of detail that they put into him. The fact that he can transform into Meta Ridley, I'm just starting to say, why wasn't he a playable character at this point?
I would also like to hear an explanation on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that they didn't show disrespect to Ridley. Even though he's not playable, I think he gets some of the biggest stuff for being a boss character. And I know I made a pun, horrible pun, but yeah, I mean, they showed a lot of attention to detail. They did a lot with Ridley. The fact that he has his little face there when you get a point, which, does that look like the same face he had in Brawl?
It does. It looks really similar.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, Other M has a completely different face. But, off of that, okay, well done. Nice. Okay,
Yeah.
I've said my part. SwedishKuriboh, what do you got?
Well, Super Metroid is one of my all-time favorite game, and I love Ridley as a villain. So I was really disappointed in just seeing him as a stage has, because his implementation is so well developed. It's like he's made to be a fighter, but he's just short of the mark. So close. So yeah,
Tell me about it.
It was really frustrating to see it like that. So
Yeah,
at the same time, it's they didn't pour a bunch of dirt on him and just said, "Oh, put him out there." No, they put some thought into him. I guess they were trying to say we couldn't do it this time. Let us make it up to you by at least doing some really cool stuff with him.
Yeah, I think that's basically what they did. It's maybe it really seems like they tried to implement him. They really tried, but they just couldn't seem to do it.
All right,
I don't know.
RavenKingSage, let's hear it.
Get your rant out.
First of all, I would like to say that, yes, we knew for quite a while, yes, that he was going to be a stage element, but this is easily the best stage element / boss ever. I'm going to say that right now. This is a really great stage element, and you can tell at first, when I heard people saying, "Oh, Ridley truly disconfirmed," I was like, "Okay, Sakurai just hates him and hates Metroid." But now that now that I've seen him in action and the way he works, I'm like, "Wow, they really showed a lot of love this time, didn't they?" So yeah, this is the best Ridley role he's gotten in Smash so far. But I know I'm really reaching here, but I'm gonna say it. Theoretically, still very much in the cards. Now, but something still doesn't seem right to me. The way Sakurai's kind of kept quiet on Ridley for so long, without mentioning that anytime he's mentioned him in passing or hinted at him, or hinted at a possible disconfirmation, every time it's left room for doubt. Didn't show him full on in the April Direct, and he's obviously scale isn't important. I mean, Sakurai's.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't look that big.
Yeah, this is like a pretty smallish Ridley, but now that he's shown here, people are gonna be like, "Oh, we told you Ridley's too big. CJ might have to censor this. Something like that." And yeah, it's like I have a quote-unquote friend on the TV Tropes forum who gets really nasty every time Ridley's brought up because he's like, "Ridley will never be playable. You guys shut up, you morons."
Let's just get this out there right now. No matter what side you're on, this is all a stupid argument in the long run, and it feels like
it's like seriously.
Size is all but dead, so theoretically there's nothing really stopping Ridley, and people have pointed out before that this is the Metroid Other M
incarnation.
I almost said incarceration, incarnation. And Ridley's been blown up and cloned so many times, so I would think that if Ridley was added DLC later on, he'd be smaller to fit the way Smash Brothers works and be the organic Super Metroid true original Ridley.
Yeah, although they will have to shrink his tail somewhat.
Yeah,
that'd be a
have to
big
shrink
deal.
his tail, but the melee opening is there as concrete proof that he can be small and still look pretty natural.
That's what I've been saying.
And intimidating.
Yeah.
Ridley's size.
It's like I still hope one day we get a playable Ridley in some form. But
again, I don't see why we can't have both. Characters have been a stage element and a playable character before, not just with the whole Toon Link Alfonso thing, because a stage element this involved can't just be replaced by an Alfonso. Like Donkey Kong in 75 meters is a good example.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong shown there is an involved stage element. Donkey Kong is also a playable character, and they're two separate entities. The stage element Donkey Kong is the older one that became Cranky Kong.
Right. Unfortunately, I think it's time to move on to the next thing.
Yeah, because it's like if we don't speed things up a bit, we're gonna be here all night.
Yeah. Well, I did just want to get that off my chest. I think. Sorry.
I know.
It's all right, man.
I am too, but I just wish you would stay dead, though.
Okay. So I'll get my little thoughts on that. I think maybe Smash 6. I think DLC is like 10% chance, if anything, and that's like so small. But moving on, because I don't want to give up. I never want to give up hope, but yeah, moving on.
Let's move on to
Hope will never die.
Hey guys, welcome to the. Let me do that again. Hey
Blooper
guys.
reel.
Yeah.
Blooper reel.
There we go. Always good to end with one of those.
This is going to be a great start.
Get all the jokes out right now. All right, 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to what I thought was going to be the last Smash. No, I'm still blowing it. No, I don't have my words right. If you heard me in the 15-minute play time, 15-minute challenge, I'm bad at live. Okay.
Yeah, you are.
All right, so
Let's try this again.
One more time.
Script.
Let's try that again.
All right, one more take.